Next category is fear. This, of course, is the major one. Fear is a major tool, the main tool the ego uses to try to control us. Fear is also an emotion which the ego learned to try to avoid. So it sets up this screwy dynamic where the critical parent voice is sending us messages that cause us to be afraid, and then the ego tries to help us escape from that fear. And that's actually what causes obsessive, compulsive, and addictive behavior. Trying to escape from feelings that we don't know how to feel. Emotions are a really important part of our being. And it's important for us to be in touch with our own emotions in order to be consciously present in our body in the moment. Well, we learned, we grew up in emotionally dysfunctional, dishonest cultures with emotionally damaged parents, and we don't have a good relationship with our own emotions. And we had to shut down emotionally in childhood because it was too painful. We had to use survival tools like denial and disassociation in order to survive our childhood. This is actually a form, codependency is actually a form of delayed stress syndrome or post-traumatic stress syndrome. They had first identified post-PTSD, like in soldiers that went off to Vietnam, and spent a year being shot at and having their friends killed and trying to kill other people, and they had to shut down emotionally by that. And then later on, there's all these symptoms that show up, Well, we weren't in some foreign country against some identified enemy for a year. We were in the homes that were supposed to be our sanctuaries with the people who were supposed to love us and protect us. And we were there for 15, 16, 17, 18 years. So the fear of the unknown comes up. It feels uncomfortable. So the ego tries to help us escape from that physical feeling of being uncomfortable in our bodies by getting us in our head, trying to figure out how to control things we can't control. Like the future, like the unknown. And what we end up doing is projecting these movies in our own mind, these fairy tales about the future, that are horror movies. They have themes like impending doom and financial insecurity and being alone forever and ever and ever. And then we get all emotionally caught up in this fantasy in our own mind about something that hasn't happened and may never happen. So it actually creates more fear and more negative emotional space the way the ego tries to help us avoid feelings, or avoid the feelings, or avoid the fear. And a good example of this in my recovery was there was a time when I'd given 30 days notice to move out of the place I was living in. And with 2 weeks to go, my car died and I lost my job. So I got 2 weeks to move, I got no job, no car. I'm on the phone to my sponsor one night, just bitching and moaning and complaining, in this trauma drama, how scared I was, how painful it was, how awful it was going to be homeless. And he listened to me for a while, and then he interrupted, and he said, "What's above your head?" And I got really pissed, because, he's not listening to me. This is important. This is about, He said, "What's above your head?" I said, "Well, the ceiling." "Oh, you're not homeless tonight, are you?" Which really pissed me off, because I was really revved about this, Well, what it helped me to do is to get out of the trauma drama and start taking action. Start making phone calls, putting out resumes, letting people, putting it out to the universe that I needed help, which actually aligns with metaphysical law. Metaphysical law says you put it out and it'll come back. Ask and ye shall receive, seek and ye shall find, knock and the door shall be open. That spells ask, those 3 lines, in case you never noticed that. That's how important. Metaphysical law, the 3rd step in the 12-step program, is about asking for help, about being open to being helped. We can't do it alone. We weren't meant to do it alone. But our ego also isn't able to do it. Our ego, there's an old saying that God made the world round so we couldn't see too far over the horizon. Well, our ego wants to see everything and know what, when, where, why, how, what's it going to feel like, how's this going to work, blah, 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 and it can't. So we need to let it go. And, after 2 weeks, I had something to drive, I had a place to live, and I had a job. And it was not because my ego figured anything out. It's because I surrendered to the universe and took action on my part, what I could do.